What's up everyone, Op Soldier here, and today we are going to talk about something that's a little bit hidden in the competitive community. This is mostly having to do with something that Aquaman mentioned in one of his videos. He kind of posted it on Twitter. I went ahead and retweeted it. Basically, he was talking about how you want a bigger prize pool, and then he kind of went on a tangent about how players should encourage more players to get into their games, right? Their fighting games. So I've been saying this for a while. Obviously, on Twitter, that's kind of my goal, is to get people into fighting games and debate people about how the game has been designed, stuff like that. Same thing with my TikTok, YouTube. It's all to get more people into the game and to enjoy Mortal Kombat for what it is, not for what they want it to be, but for what it is. So I'm going to go ahead and go over some of the prize pools between fighting games. So as you can see here, I'll probably have it on the screen. Combo Breaker Offline Scene had first place with Nicholas getting $642.60. Then they had Scorpion Prox getting $367.20, and then all the way to 6th and 7th, which is $30.60. Now obviously Nicholas that's probably a plane ticket, right? That's not even the trip. That's probably the trip to and from wherever you're going. It's not even enough to pay for the hotel or pay for food or pay for getting into the venue, right? And that has kind of been the biggest complaints that I've heard, at least on Twitter, about the MK11 prize pools. Guilty Gear Strive now had $4,435, then second place had $2,534, and then third place had $1,478. So clearly the top three spots have way higher prize pools than Mortal Kombat 11, right? Not to mention that Guilty Gear Strive is still supported. NRS has not been supporting MK11 for a while now. Also, during the Combo Breaker Top 32, Top 16, I was looking at some of the actual viewer numbers between the games, and Mortal Kombat 11 only had 2,000 viewers on Mad City GG, while Team Spooky, when they were streaming Guilty Gear Strive, they had 24,000 viewers watching Guilty Gear Strive. That excludes all the watch party. I saw Ramola, who's a very consistent Guilty Gear Strive streamer, having about 2,400 concurrent viewers watching her watch Guilty Gear Strive in Combo Breaker. So basically, Ramola had this amount that we had in our main event for Mortal Kombat 11, while Guilty Gear Strive in their main event had almost 10 times the amount that we had in our main event. That's insane. That definitely means Guilty Gear Strive is way more supported than MK11 in the community. Not necessarily developers, but the community. Now there is a big argument that once a developer stops supporting a game, that the community naturally slowly tapers down, right? Because clearly Guilty Gear Strive is still being supported crazily compared to Mortal Kombat 11. They just got crossplay and everything like that, and that might be why the numbers are so big, right? Because if you compare Mortal Kombat 11 to pretty much any other game that's being supported right now, those games generally are going to have higher numbers. Now there's an argument that that's not always the case though, because games like Melee have had big scenes forever. So is it really the developers, or is it the community? Now there are some things that could be supported that help the community grow naturally, right? I've heard some kind of thoughts that Matcherino, which I guess is viewer supported prize pool, would help boost the prize pool. I think all these things are a good thing, but I think the number one thing that really holds MK11 or Mortal Kombat back in general is the community. I can't stress how many times I will look into the chat and I see people saying sleeper, zoning sleeper, command grab sleeper, character with broken pressure sleeper, all these things, I'll hear, these characters are sleeper, they're boring, blah blah blah, get it out, wins MK12. I hear that all the time in the chat, And to be honest, I think those are the type of things that actually break down your scene. I think this is one of the main reasons our scene keeps shrinking. It doesn't get bigger, but if you, I would assume if you look at the combo breaker from 2019 compared to the combo breaker from 2022, you would see way higher numbers. I don't know that for sure, but I have a pretty good idea that that would probably be most likely the case, right? And so I just want to stress this again, like, I understand that like the community, or not the community, but the developers aren't supporting the game anymore. I understand that like you might not be happy with the final product of the game, but crying to the developers is not going to change how the game is now, right? The developers are going to decide, they have proven that they will decide when they want to release their game. So you have a choice. Do you want to build the community up? Do you want to build the future of MK up by bringing more people into the scene and explaining to them how the meta works? Or do you want to tear the community down and lower the prize pools, lower the entrance, lower the chances to make money or to make offline pro competition money by removing more people from the scene, telling them your game is sleeper, your game doesn't have a good meta, you don't like the meta, blah blah blah. Those are the two choices you kind of have to make. Now obviously I've seen that the international community, it seems like that they actually do like the game. We've seen, you know, more entrants in the international community, or more tops at least, not necessarily more entrants, but more top players in the international community because they really like the game. And I think that says a lot. I think the ease of use could really get anyone into the game. It really is that simple. You just have to like play the game, really. Like a lot of people have learned, like video games has learned literally from Combat League, and now he's taking top 8 spots in major offline tournaments, right? So clearly like the game itself has the ability to allow you to get really good at the game if you really just study your gameplay and focus on fundamentals and getting better, right? So it really is just down to the community. Like, do you want to support NRS, the NRS scene, the MK scene, or do you want the community to die and lose viewers and lose prize pools? I personally think that all these like money matches and all these, you know, drama stuff, I don't think that this necessarily makes the game. I do think sometimes it will bring in a little bit more viewership, but I don't necessarily think this is what makes viewers want to enjoy the game and get into the game. I think what really makes viewers want to enjoy and get into the game is making tech videos, you know, teaching people how the game plays, teaching people the meta, etc, right? I think getting people to understand the meta, and that the meta isn't actually as bad as people think it is. It's actually a pretty solid meta. Like the fact that I can pick Katana against Fujin and actually have a chance is like pretty solid. Like that's something that we just did not see in older MK games. So getting kind of people to like see, oh, this matchup's not as bad as I thought it is, or, you know, I just need to do this in this matchup, you know, or, you know, this character is actually really exciting if you play them this way. I think that that will really, really breathe life into the game, and I think that over time, we can grow our scene. The international community, again, like I said, is proving that if you are dedicated to growing your scene, you can do it. You can do it. You just need to really want to support the game. So it really just comes down to you, viewer, and everyone else who plays MK. Do you want the games to be supported, or do you want more bigger prize pools by putting more people into the game, adding match arena, getting more people interested, and focusing on growing the scene? That's like a choice you have to make. Anyway, I figured I would share that today. This is a little bit shorter of a video, but this is kind of something that's been going on my mind for a long time now. I've been wanting to get people into fighting games forever, not just MK, but I have noticed that MK seems to be that thing that like everyone wants to bash, and they just want to say, when's the next game? Like they don't want to like get people into the scene and have them enjoy the game that we have now, because we just don't know when the next game's coming out. We don't know, right? Like I know we're bored, but like we just don't know, right? And it's unfortunate too, because I do get the developer side. I do get the sentiment of the developers not supporting the game anymore, but this is where we're at, guys. Like, we got to make a decision. Like, are we just going to drop the game and go find a new game, you know, a new fighting game or whatever? Or are we going to support what we have left, at least until the next game comes out? Anyway, I'll see you guys later. Have fun playing MK11 and fighting games.